Hello. Okay, I'm talking for a few minutes now about Moll Flanders, and this is the edition that I hope you have. Um, I want to start with the preface, which I asked you, although not very clearly, to read because it was published with the stuff that was published with the actual text, not the stuff that is put at the beginning of the text, like the introduction, which is a contemporary piece. In the preface, which we would assume is written by Defoe, even though the rest of the novel looks like an autobiography, Defoe writes that Moll, this is, there's not even a page, this is the first page of the preface, that Moll first becomes wicked, and all the progress of crime which she run through in 80 year, an author must be hard put to wrap it up so clean as not to give room, especially for vicious readers, to turn it to his disadvantage. What he's doing here is saying, I'm doing my best to wrap up this story in a way that makes it so that readers can't say that I'm writing a bad book with a bad influence. And then on the next page, on page 4, he writes, or still in the preface, it is suggested there cannot be the same life, the same brightness and beauty in relating the penitent part as is in the criminal part. If there is any truth in that suggestion, I must be allowed to say 'tis because there is not the same taste and relish in the reading. And indeed, it is too true that the difference lies not in the real worth of the subject, so much as in the gust and palate of the reader, suggesting that if you don't like the beautiful part where she's penitent and happy finally because she's found the truth, then that says a lot more about you than it does about the book or about what parts of this you are supposed to like and whether or not the moral is more important to you than the scandal. So he's doing this beautiful move where he's saying in advance, if you don't find the right moral here, that's because you have your mind in the gutter and not because of anything I'm doing as the editor of this autobiography. Okay, when we get to the actual text, she agrees, she tells us she's going to go by the name Moll Flanders, even though it's not her given name, and that she's become famous for doing ill. And she starts by talking about when she was a child, her confusion about what it meant to be a gentlewoman, or she confuses gentlewoman with a madam who runs a whorehouse. And when she makes that mistake, she clarifies it by saying a gentlewoman is someone who doesn't have to rely on charity for her money, but can earn her own money and her own keep. And that move right there, where she's confusing gentlewoman with someone who doesn't have to rely on birth or money, but can actually keep herself afloat, is the core of the distinction between the virgin whore dichotomy in this book. The way she plays it, and then she's teased about it later on. She thinks that the madam of the whorehouse is a gentlewoman because the madam is earning her own money and referred to in polite ways, not obviously by the women who are taking care of Moll, but her aspirations are the same.